calling you a radical. I was asked to do this video by some sports people in the old KWCR crowd. So they got on me yesterday. Says, Kevin, you're the guy. You're the walking, talking encyclopedia at Weber State, Ogden, Utah, for that matter. Yeah. Put out your top 10 list of Weber State basketball players, football players. Come on, you know. Had a big day here for you. I says, you're the guy. And I says, yeah, okay. So I did it to them yesterday. I don't know, they recorded it, where they put it, I don't know where, but they asked me to do this. First off, I want to say this. This is important. Because Jay Hill got mad at me at the rally. I told him, he's uptight right now. I get it. But, because I had my old 1960s, old logo, University of Utah jersey on. He says, you need Weber. And I says, I don't buy it. I do not participate in the NCAA. Fuck the NCAA. I invented the fuck the NCAA movement. The slave-made gear, I bought this at Savers for $3. I like the Ravens. I like Lamar Jackson. And I always go back to that great defensive team when they were like 200-300 to 1 and they won it. I like defensive football. I love defensive football. You know. And that's what Weber State is. So, first off, before I start this, I'm going to do top 10 basketball players in the history of Weber State basketball. And I've been here the whole time. You know, in the honor of my great athlete uncle's funeral's tomorrow. First off, let's talk about, Jay Hill. If Jay Hill never won another game in the history of his football coach, he's the greatest football coach in the history of this school by miles. He's one of the greatest individuals ever set foot on this university. I have nothing but respect for that man. Nothing. For what he did here, the cultural turnaround here. This was the losingest, most corrupt football program in the country. I did the play-by-play for years, you know. I always go back to Trevon Johnson. Oh, he's way up there. He was on that bad team. He's part of, you know, he plays for the Bills. Had that. There's a picture of my grandson. He snuck down. God, that kid, when I was doing the play-by-play. But Jay Hill is the greatest. I have nothing but respect for what he's done, for what he, and they'll be ready tonight. This will be an epic, great game. But so let's start this. Basketball. Why here? What's the matter with you? Everybody knows, because it's the pond. First off, I want to start with the Ogden Raptors first and give a little call out to the Ogden Raptors. It is important. Get your big soup can out for this. Why the soup can? Remember, I used to give my soup can award when I did the thing for the soup can was invented here. Yeah, American canned. Yeah, right here. Ogden, Utah, Warhol. Kevin Black's 33rd soup can. Ogden Raptors last night. Cody Bellinger. My grandkids are huge Dodgers fans. And I bet them I was rooting for the Giants. What? They call me a traitor. Because I gave up on the Dodgers long ago. So when the Dodgers moved into Chavez Ravine, in those years, there was a famous socialist governor of California, probably the most famous governor in the history of California besides Reagan. Governor Olson, he fought him, the last indigenous people. He fought the O'Malley's breaking ground. He died 3 days later. He's from Ogden. Governor Olson's from Ogden. So the Dodgers have been getting Hall of Fame players from Ogden since I was a little kid. You know, me and my daughter sat with Steve Garvey at the opening ceremonies of the 2000 games. So Bollinger last night gets the hit, and then they get the bad call, but they had their chances. My grandkids were all happy this morning. Billionaire baseball. They'll play against Jock Peterson, Jocktober. They're from here. I got to tell this story quickly. So, you know, the kids that grow up around here, oh, they love the Dodgers. Because the Raptors. And Baggett and John Lindquist do so much for the kids. We love Baggett. And, well, Lindquist too, John. So, that field is grand. So, years ago when Cody played here, they don't pay him anything. They get no money. It's disturbing, and they pulled their affiliation. So I was friends with Lee Lanzarato and all the old guard for the old Dodgers. You know, some are still around. She told me, this is this year, she told me about Cody. She says, Cody separated his shoulder here on the field at Lindquist Field. They play for the Rappers, and she says, so no ambulance, no team doctor, they got no money. It's minor league baseball. They stay with host families, no nothing. She loaded him up in her car and took him to the McQuackney emergency room. She said he called his dad, and his dad told him to suck it up. And I says, well, did he send you a check after he signed his $200 million contract or $400 million? She laughed. I says, he sent you a thank you card? She laughed. Well, that's imperialism America. But let's get to the top 10 basketball here, and this will piss Lillard off. Good. Good. It should piss him off, because what did Damian Lillard win it? He's never won anything. Up by 22 points, I did the call. He knows I was full of cancer. He's never stood up for me, and he knows I was full of cancer. He watched the whole plan thing, you know. Sucked up to nothing, still doing the play-by-play. Full of AML leukemia. Then we'll talk football. Number 1 basketball player ever played in the history of Weber State. Willie Soldier. Oh, he went to a Sweet 16. He has rings. Title rings in professional basketball. He named Dr. J. They roomed together at Virginia Squires. They got traded together to the New York Nets, and they beat the Utah Stars. He got a ring. He's the greatest who ever played here. With one of the greatest coaches, Dick Motta. The greatest coach is Ronna Baglin. Second's Dick Motta. Phil Johnson. So, Ronna Baglin's the greatest coach. Who's number 2? Now, I've run this through my mind a lot. Jerry Carding, who I'm a big fan of Jerry's, but, you know, and he was on the floor as a freshman when they lost that game to Dakota. I was in San Luis. How they lost that game, I don't know. But number 2, I torn between Eddie Gill and Ruben Nembhard. I'm going with Ruben Nembhard. Winning matters. Remember when they beat Sean Resput? Of course, he missed the front end of that one, and the great Joe Bass, who I'm friends with, the athletic, he knows everything. He told him, that just cost you several $1 million. So number 2, I'm going with Ruben Nembhard, who I was friends with. I worked for Coach at Baglin. I was a trader then on Wall Street and here at the school, and did play-by-play then. And that's number 2. Number 3, Eddie Gill. Oh my God, what an athlete, what a player. Only played for 20 years in the NBA. And they won Big Sky championships. They beat North Carolina. Look at this. See that? Oh. How about that? That's a kingfisher. He's right above our head. I hope we got him on camera. Oh, what's the odds of that? That's a kingfisher. Whoa, I haven't seen. Whoa, that's as rare as the moose. Nice. So we're going with Willie Soldier number 1, Ruben Nembhard 2, Eddie Gill 3, Harold Arsenal 4, Jerry Carding 5, Jimmy DeGrafferty 6. There it comes back. There he is. He's on the rock right there. God, you know how rare that is? Oh, nice. God, that's a rare specimen, baby. I'm a bird watcher. Jimmy DeGrafferty. So we got to start over. God, I got distracted. Willie Soldier. Number 2, Ruben Nembhard. Number 3, Eddie Gill. Number 4, Harold Arsenal. Number 5, Jerry Carding. Number 6, probably should go Bruce Collins. Number 7, Jimmy DeGrafferty. Number 8, Justin Thigpen. Number 9, Damian Lillard. Winning matters. Damian Lillard never won anything here. Was it his fault? I don't know. I did the play-by-play. They were up by 22 points at halftime against Montana at home, and they lost. Just because I put an emphasis on winning. He's the all-time leading free throw shooter at this thing. I told Eddie Gill, I talked to Eddie this year, I said, you know, he broke your record. Scott, I didn't know that. Eddie Gill's the man. Do not kid yourself. The man. He does the play-by-play, understand, for the Pistons. He only played in the NBA for 20 years. Football. Well, let's say with basketball, who's the #1 coach in the history of Weber State? That's saying a lot. Ronald Beglin, #1. Ronald Beglin, and President Thompson fired him for winning. All downhill ever since. 2, Dick Motta. 3, Phil Johnson. 4, the great Neil McCarthy, who's passed away. Football. Who's the greatest football player in the history of Weber State? First, who's the greatest coach in the history of Weber State? By miles, J. Hill. J. Hill, I put him up as the greatest coach in the history of this university. Period. Period. So, nothing but respect for that dude. What he was able to snowball stance in. Greatest football player who ever played in the history of Weber State, 100-year-old program, bar none. Trevon Smith, number 25. He was on the campus the same time as Damian Lillard. He's dead. He got beat to death in a jail cell in Salt Lake. 4,025 yards rushing, another over 1,000 receiving. Oh, he only had 28 touchdowns in one season. Yeah, what did the NCAA do for him? Fuck the NCAA. 2, Scott Shields. 3, Wildcat Morris. He's from here. 4, Lee White. 5, Adam Rodriguez, and I might even move Adam up. You know, Weber State, under Jay Hill, last 4 years, I did the play-by-play, as you know. Teron Johnson. He's number 5. That'll change. You know, we got players on this team. We got Rocket Rashid, but he's still playing. We got Josh Davis, he's still playing. Just remember, these Weber State teams under Jay Hill the last several years were locked down on defense. They were, I mean, defense run the ball. That defense, the greatest third down football player I ever saw defensive, that's Adam Rodriguez. And, you know, I've debated whether to move. It's Trevon Smith, Scott Shields, Adam Rodriguez, Wildcat Morris. But never forget this, you know, fuck the NCAA. The greatest coach in the history of this university, bar none, is still coaching. I usually wait till they're done, but I'm not waiting on him. It is Jay Hill. You know, I work for Bruce Hanley, the #1 school of finance in the country here, when they wanted to kill the program, and it probably should have been killed. It was that corrupt, it was that dirty, it was that bad. You know, it's not just about, somebody needs to tell the ASCA to fuck off and start their own leagues. Go back to before pre-NCAA. We had the NIT, we had tournaments. You know, the NCAA is abusive as hell. One-way street, a bunch of corporate attorneys. So I was asked to do this video. So the Raptors, we got Jacques Peterson versus Cody Bellinger. Ogden's just been supplying the Dodgers. And then great Governor Olson's from here. He went to Ogden High. You know, I'm from Ogden, born and raised in the old D Hospital. 7th generation. So I don't buy merchandise. And I have my old thin jersey that I used to do the games in, 00, made in the USA. I don't buy sports merchandise. Get a new helmet, everything. Nike started that. They abused the shit out of it. It's disgusting. I don't participate. But we still love the game. My grandkids were all fired up. Oh, they were all fired up by the day. I'm like, oh, God. Billionaires, imperialism involved. But that doesn't mean we still don't love this sport. Just because the athletes are dicks. And they're arrogant pricks. And, well, how could they not be when you're throwing billions at them? You really going to put Damian Lillard at 8th or 9th? 9th. I almost didn't put him in the top 10, but the only reason I put him there is because he's all-time leading free throw shooter here. Huh. Winning matters. It's about athletic development. I like Randy Ray. He's got a lot of players playing in Europe, but he doesn't win. You know, that's okay. That doesn't mean I don't like the guy, and I'm a fan of his style. As I put football helmets on. And Lillard is an incredible athlete, but what he's done with his money, I'm not a fan of it. You know, I told him right to his face. You got new shoes, you got new jerseys, you got new everything in your Adidas contract. Don't you think those little slaves that are sewing and making in those bunkers, the abusive usury, don't you think their fingers are getting a little sore? So again, the greatest basketball player in the history is, I watched him play, Willie Soldier. He went to a Sweet 16. But you play against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You play against him in the Sweet 16, aka Lou Alcindor. Play against him. And you couldn't beat him. Nobody could. And so, see the GOAT? Well, we're talking Weber. So, I don't buy their slave-made gear. I'll do what I find at Savers. We have a great thrift store. That's where I found that, Jay. And I was asked to do this video. Those Weber State teams. I watched that incredible turnaround. Trevon Johnson. I was doing the play-by-play one day, and they were so horrible. I think Trevon, when Jay was here on the turnaround, they had the worst coaches in the world. They had the most corrupt, sex for grades, freaking cheating. The NCAA gave them the death penalty twice. How do you get that? They got a stay of execution. I was with Bruce Hanley when he did the famous interview right there with Sports Illustrated, who donated his brain to the NCAA Foundation on his death. I spoke at his wake. I worked for him, the #1 school business. He could have played in the NFL. He went and got a PhD at Colorado State. Well, he was a prick too. Whoa, do not kid yourself. Around here, people will talk, whoa, even to me. But he was the tough love with me. #1 school business. There's the MVPs. Right there. How about that Ben Lomond football team?
Same old fucking Scots.
You see, oh, they weren't that. We were good when we went there.
They had a couple of good years. My boy went there too. When I think they won 2 games when he was there.
You see how far they got beat by Ogden?
42-7.
Still?
I told my boy last night because he gets on that webpage. They got a new stadium, new field, but they ain't got no kids. It's like fuck, they never have. It's like there's like.
What about how about a guy named Steve Hubbard when we went there?
Emmett White did pretty good too.
Yeah. Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those days are long gone. Maybe the next 10 years they'll get another recruitment class. Not like this place.
You know what the BL on the mountain's for? Blanche. Never forget that.
Oh yeah, you put it up there. Bootney, man.
Yeah, me and Bootney's. Hey, remember when he played with Tillman, Robbie?
Robbie Tillman, yeah.
Did you know that Eddie died?
His brother?
You know his uncle. He was the greatest basketball player in the history of this city.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died. Or not, Eddie died. He used to play at Weber, but no, excuse me, Benny.
Benny Tillman.
Benny just died.
They used to live on 9th Street down there.
Yeah. Benny was the greatest player this city's ever seen.
Yeah, he was killer, man.
Oh.
I know Richard Moore was pretty good back in the day, I'll tell you that.
Well, he broke his neck. He never got his chance.
Yeah, he was out at Bear Lake and he was doing something and fucking broke his neck.
Yeah, I played against him, with him.
I played against him at Mount Fort, Rise at Hyden, and then I played him at Ben Lomond.
Who's the best player in Mount Fort history, sport history?
Probably Richard Moore.
Glenn Hubbard.
In Mount Fort?
Yeah, he played at Mount Fort.
I thought he went to Highland.
No, hell no, he ain't no Highland hiker. He Mount Fort, and then they shipped him. He moved overseas with his dad, and then he came back, and we all know what he was.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, Jock Peterson, he's representing now.
How about Bellinger last night?
Oh,
He played here.
Yeah, he played for the Raptors, didn't he?
So did Jock Peterson.
Yeah.
Go figure. We just been supplying those major league asshole Dodgers superstars at the grassroots level since we were little kids.
Pretty much, yep.
So who's the greatest player in Weber High history? My Uncle Claude's funeral's tomorrow. That's Claude Blanche, my uncle.
Oh, he passed away, huh?
Yeah. His funeral's tomorrow.
Yeah,
So.
You doing the game tonight? You don't do them games anymore, do you? Still doing them?
I'm doing them on a podcast, but KWCR, they killed it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Why?
Who knows what we
Well, when Kevin Blanche is on there saying fuck the NCAA every other day and fuck the Board of Regents.
They don't want no bad publicity. They got it themselves, but they don't want you on there saying that.
Oh, they don't want the truth told.
That's true. Exactly.
How about Trevon Smith? They don't want to talk about him. Just the greatest football player in the history of this 100-year program.
Yeah.
Beat to death, dead in a jail cell.
Yeah. Yep.
I wonder how he got on the pain meds. Let's see, running 40 times a day.
Yeah.
He had 28 touchdowns in one season here. 4,000 yards rushing, but they won't speak his name.
No, that's about how this works.
How about Watt Masaka, the basketball player?
Yeah.
We forgot that because that's JC. So in the basketball top 10, we forgot about Watt. He won 2 national championships. If we go back to JC, Watt Masaka is the #1. So we'll have to change it. You too, brother. So how about we got to redo that if we're going JC? Dick Conley told me to my face. He won national championships. It was a JC. But we're going to 4-year school. We'll leave it what it was at 4-year school. But if we go clear back to the 2-year school, Arnie Farron play here? Nope, he went straight to the U. What about the Garner boys? No, straight to the U. But Watt did. Grew up on 25th. First player of color in the history of the NBA, number 77. So there you go. I was asked to do this. So if you go to the history of the school, we're changing it. Sorry, Lillard, you moved to 10. 1, Watt Masaka. 2, Willie Soldier. 3, Ruben Nemhard. 4, Eddie Gill. 5, Harold Arsenault. 6, Jerry Cardine. Sorry, Lillard, I'm putting you at 10. Winning matters. Watt Masaka won 2 national championships. I'm glad he walked by and refreshed my memory. Watt was born and raised on 25th Street. He won national championships at Weber State in the old Desert Regiment and at the University of Utah, and was the first player of color in the history of the NBA. Why won't they speak his name? Same reason they won't speak Famake Brody's name on this campus. What? Same reason they won't Kevin Blanche. Same reason they won't Trevon Smith. Stay tuned.